Well, guys, we are back. We are finally going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again. Now, I know a lot of people, including myself, have been excited slash nervous or reminiscent to like, okay, is this going to be anywhere near close to the Daredevil Netflix series that we all knew and we all cherished and we really enjoyed? Now, going into the first and second episode, because right now there is two episodes. I'm recording this on Wednesday. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna have this come out tomorrow, so that way there's enough time and people don't get upset about spoilers. But overall, the very first two episodes were very intense. So going into episode one and two now, again, I'm going to kind of go into what happened and not only my own thoughts, my own what I think is going to happen, who's going to show up, and things of that nature. And also, there was things brought up in the first episode because the first episode we see the reunion of Matt Murdock, Karen Page, Foggy Nelson. They are celebrating, I guess, a win. They go to a bar and they're all talking, having a good time. And then Foggy gets a notification from someone that they are trying to protect. He's at his apartment. So Matt suits up as Daredevil, goes over there. But before it's too late, Bullseye shows up and, again, spoilers, kills Foggy right in the chest. And Karen's trying to hold down pressure to see if he's going to survive. He doesn't. Matt and we see Bullseye fight, and that was an intense fight. I'm just gonna say that right now. That was really an intense fight. The camera angles, the dark tone, they really went into how the Netflix series was, and we see where just this big emotion of Matt seeing and hearing his friend die again. He with him, when I say seeing, he doesn't really need to see with his eyes because again he's blind, but he can see with the vibrations. He can see with again his heightened senses between his hearing, his smell, and his taste as well. But again, him feeling that emotion, and there was going to be a cop that was going to be retiring by the name of Sherry, and he sees Matt as Daredevil. Then it goes into a year later. Matt is working at another firm with one of the other attorneys that they combine their names, and we see even where Matt goes on the stand to of the defense to go up against Bullseye, and Bullseye gets life in prison without no parole. And again, that was not going to be enough for Matt or Karen, and again, their relationship just went sideways. So again, I don't know if that 1 year was because of him being apparently on She-Hulk and all these other things, and we see even where Karen just does not want anything really to do with Matt because he pushed her away, and then again she's grieving Foggy like he is, and they don't know how to deal with it. So what we see is again, Mrs. Fisk, we see Vanessa. She has pretty much taken over the criminal empire in Wilson's place, and he comes back, and they're having issues, and he then declares himself to be, going for mayor, and he wins, especially after all the things he's promising to do. No vigilantes, which again has been brought up in the comics, and then also, of course, him wanting to stay away from his criminal activities, but he still acts like a criminal. Like there's one scene in episode two where he's got to talk to the commissioner of the police and he's wanting to resign, but he pretty much shows blackmail of like, hey, I know where your wife and child are, or your other, or your child is, and don't do that because I know where you are, and I'm going to keep you guys under a very tight thumb. And there's people that are supporting Fisk. There's people that's not going to support Fisk, and we even see where Murdoch and Wilson have a sit down at a deli or at a restaurant, and they're having a talk, and it gets brought up as Spider-Man, gets brought up a Punisher, and the White Tiger, and then Echo gets brought up as well. I never saw Echo. I don't really plan on seeing Echo, but apparently something happened where I guess she shot Wilson in the face, and that's how come he was very messed up for a while, and he stayed away from Vanessa. And we even see how where Matt does not want to be a vigilante anymore. He wants to be, I would say, going back again. This is not the first time we've seen him try to go on the straight and narrow without being a vigilante, and him trying to deal with the death of Foggy and his business partner trying to put him in a relationship with a therapist, which it goes escalates rather quickly between Matt and this other one named Heather, who is a therapist, who she later becomes a therapist for Wilson and his wife. And then we also find out that Vanessa had an affair with someone that I guess Wilson knew, and makes him promise not to kill the person that she did with. So that causes some issues as well. And again, we see a bunch of new characters that's either on Wilson's campaign or a part of his team. And we also get an introduction of White Tiger. The one Hector, who's actually White Tiger. He's about ready to go to prison, and Matt takes his case of trying to defend him because of some crooked cops. And we even see at the very last episode of episode 2 where Matt tries to get the witness out of there, and he has no choice but to use his expertise to be able to get out of that situation. And now he's like, oh my God, I just killed these guys, or it looked like he killed them. And now he's like, okay, what am I going to do? So it's really crazy of what they're doing in this series and how quickly everything's kind of progressing. Now, again, we only get to see him in the Daredevil suit one time in episode 1 and 2, which was kind of a letdown. But again, this is kind of the beginning of, I guess, Daredevil feeling like he cannot get away of being the Daredevil, and also him trying to do the right thing as Matt Murdock and still try to be a good person and still try to have a normal life. But again, with him, losing Foggy, losing Karen, and, starting a new business with a business partner, and trying to keep his rage and his anger and his resentment and the suffering all underneath the surface so that way he can keep going, really does show. And I give Charlie Cox a lot of credit. Again, I think he's been perfect for Daredevil since day one, since we saw him in the Netflix show. I think Vincent D'Onofrio is amazing as him returning as the Kingpin. And, we get to see as Deborah Ann Wool return as Karen Page, which she's done amazing. Even when we get to see Frank Castle again, I think that's going to be an amazing portrayal. I know some people are probably like, oh my God, what did they do? What did they do? Again, the only thing that I can say that I enjoy so far is, again, a little bit of the build-up that we're seeing with Matt, what we're seeing with Wilson. How long is he going to stay as quote-unquote the squeaky clean mayor he's trying to be, and him still not trying to go into criminal activities, which again he will do if they're going to do it by the comics, because again he is going to be a mayor, but on the other side he's going to have kind of two faces. He's going to be the mayor of New York, but at the same time he's still going to be the Kingpin, and that's what's going to I think kind of coincide with this season or this series. And this really does feel like a season 4 of Daredevil, even though it's been several years since the last season took place. But I do feel like some people are either not happy with this or are happy with it. Again, the one that was doing BB News or something like that, this one chick, I really don't understand why they made her relevant in this show, other than for her to be, I would say, probably a low standing reporter that's trying to have an upcoming debut of trying to go over things in New York. And again, they kept showing it in episode 1 and 2, and I'm like, dude, I really don't care. I just want to see more of, Matt Murdock or Kingpin or something, because again, it's about these two characters. But we're going to be learning more about White Tiger here soon, because when Matt does find out that he's White Tiger from his cop contact who works for him, and especially taking on the witness that White Tiger saved, because again he's dealing with crooked cops. But there's going to be a lot of different things working within this. But I'm so far enjoying the series. I'm glad that it's back, but I still think that after the massive issues that we saw with Daredevil and She-Hulk, I think that's going to take a lot to go, okay, hey, look, this is not the same, way we want to be remembered for Daredevil. But Spider-Man, again, did get brought up, so did Punisher and a few others. But again, with what happened in Hawkeye, then Echo really put Vincent D'Onofrio's character as Kingpin in a very bad light, and I'm praying that we get to see him as the badass Kingpin that we all know and we saw in the Netflix series. That's mainly what I gotta say here, guys. I really don't know what else to say. I'm looking forward to what's gonna happen in the series. Seeing Frank again, seeing if Karen's gonna return, and seeing how things are just gonna progress throughout the story. So, let me know what you guys think about this so far down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed episode 1, episode 2, was it good? Was it boring? Was it bad? Was it just not the same? Is it not for you? Or are you expecting better? Again, the choreography, I think, was very well done so far. I think some of the CGI was good. I could see where there was a couple issues, I think, in the first episode, but nothing too bad to go, oh my God, that was absolutely horrible. Again, I still think that this is really going to try to put Daredevil back in the good graces of not only Marvel fans, but also Daredevil fans of like ones like myself that enjoyed the series. But let me know what you guys think about this regardless, and I'll see you as always on the next one.